All right, I just heard about this. I don't know who this guy is. Matt Araiza. I don't know how to say that. Araiza. We'll say Araiza. Uh, Never heard of this guy, but he played for the Buffalo Bills, which happens to be my favorite NFL team. Um, Obviously, I don't follow them that close. I just like the team. I want them to win. Just a weird thing. Since a kid, I like the Bills. I don't know why. I always liked their mascot. Whatever. So it kind of came to my attention because Buffalo Bills, right? Guy gets accused of rape, and lo and behold, his parents are speaking out. So this includes his mother. So what's interesting is to see how a mother reacts to when, you know, cancel culture, radical feminism comes after her son and is going to take away essentially the rest of his life when he had a great opportunity to live a wonderful life, be a multimillionaire, have everything set for you, and yet you get accused of rape. So let's get into this. This is from Fox News. I don't know if this has anything to do with Democrat or Republican. Possibly. Let's get into it. Like I said, I haven't read this whole article. I just started reading it, about the first paragraph here. It says Matt Araiza's parents have released a statement amid the accusations that their son, a punter who was released by the Buffalo Bills, is one of 3 people who gang raped a 17-year-old girl last year at San Diego State University while he was a student. Now, gang rape, what's that? Like, it could have been a gang rape, right? It could have been 3 guys ganged up on a girl and raped her. Could have been. Or, or maybe she wanted to have a train ran on her. I don't know. I'm not saying one way or the other. I don't know. All I know is guys who are in sports get groupies. They get girls who want to have sex with the whole team. I had an experience in high school where I was at a party. It was only guys from my basketball team. There's about 6 or 7 of us just drinking at one of the guys' houses. They called up a cheerleader, and the cheerleader came over, and she basically, did a bunch of stuff with a bunch of the guys. I didn't participate. Me and another guy didn't participate. First of all, I wasn't attracted to her that much. But second of all, I was like weirded out by the whole scenario, and I was offered. They were like, "Oh yeah, go in the back room. She's back there," and they were just taking their turns one by one, going back and banging her out. And I was like, I'm not down with that. And they laughed and kind of, oh, you're, you're weak, da, 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 da. But I was like, whatever. I'm just not down with it. And we moved on, sobered up. It wasn't even because I had any like immediate knowledge that I shouldn't be doing this because it's dangerous or because I could get caught up in something. It was just, there was just something that just didn't seem right about it. And also I wasn't that attracted to her. If she was like a super super hot cheerleader, maybe I would have went in that back room. I don't know, but I wasn't that attracted to her, and I was also like feeling sketchy about the situation because I was like, whoa, what's going on now? We're running a train on this girl, and like, I didn't sign up for this. I just came to party, drink a little bit, joke with the guys, and I didn't come here to have an orgy. But that's what happens. So this kind of thing happens around athletes. There is a culture of really, really rampant promiscuity amongst student athletes in high school and college. And I had a friend who knew somebody who was on the Alabama team the Alabama football team, which is like huge. If you know anything about college football, Alabama Crimson Tide is gigantic in college football. And he said those guys are like gods on campus. Like, they just walk around like they're just, God's gift to everything. And he says women just will show up at their door late at night randomly. They don't even know the woman, and she'll just knock on their door and try to hook up with them. And if you ever want to hear some stories, some crazy stories, well, we all know Magic Johnson got AIDS. But I was watching this kind of documentary on him, and somebody, in that documentary, somebody was talking about how many women he slept with per day, and I think they were saying it was like 10 to 20 women a day or something like that. Like literally, he would go to practice, and then when he came home from practice, his hotel room or wherever he was staying, there was just a line of women every single day. Not on game days, every single day. And this is Magic Johnson. He's the most famous guy in Los Angeles in the 1980s, right? He's Showtime. If you know anything about NBA basketball, you know the 1980s. Los Angeles Lakers, they called them Showtime because they would run up and down the court and do these crazy passes and dunks and stuff, and it was exciting. So they were very, very popular, and they actually just made a movie about it. I think it's called Showtime, if I'm not mistaken. But they just made a movie about it, about the Los Angeles Lakers and Magic Johnson. Anyways, he was huge, and so this culture surrounding sports players is nothing to shake a stick at, really. It's just really permeated culture. So it doesn't necessarily, in my mind, the guys who, assault women in that way are guys who don't have options, right? Now, again, I'm not saying one way or the other, what's happening here, but he might have done it, I don't know, but the guys who assault women, these guys are bottom of the rung, low on the totem pole. They don't have social status. Women are not interested in them. That's why they got to do what they got. That's why they got to assault women, right? So somebody like Matt Araiza, who's a star, Now, granted, he's just a punter. Doesn't matter. If you're on the team, you could be the worst player on the team. You're on the team, and that means you're on the menu for these girls. So I don't, necessarily want to jump to conclusions, but the first thing that comes to my mind is like, I don't necessarily believe this. It's like, right? So let's continue to read here, because I'm interested in what his parents have to say. So Matt Araiza's parents have released a statement amid the accusations that their son, a puncher who was released by the Buffalo Bills, is one of 3 people who gang raped a 17-year-old girl last year at San Diego State University while he was a student. Araiza's parents said there has been a war waged on our son, and the rule of law is innocent until proven guilty. He has been tried and convicted in the media based on information released solely from the alleged victim and her attorney, much of it through social media. People have taken his information as factual when it's not, the statement said. And this is what happens. The media gets a hold of an accusation, and maybe there's charges being drawn up, which can happen without proof, because a person's word is, at least a female's word is considered, particularly when it comes to that type of, event, right? That type of very negative event. It's taken very seriously in a court of law, regardless of proof, which is one of the sad things about men. being a man in today's day and age is that women have this power to just ruin our lives based on hearsay. Hearsay is not the right word. Based on, false accusations, which is the problem with the Me Too movement is it lends to a lot of false BS going on. And I did read something recently though, which I really was encouraged to read, was that a woman was jailed, and a few women have been jailed, recently, that I've read for false accusations of sexual assault. So that's decent in the fact that, okay, there's some fear behind making false accusations. Yeah, you could go to jail. You ruin a man's reputation. You take away his future and his livelihood. That's very serious. And you're lying about it. That's very serious. So apparently his parents said that he's being convicted in a court of public opinion, not a court of law, and basically, they're saying it's not factual, and they're saying that the reason why he got fired was because of this thing that's not true, which is that's a horrible scenario, man. Imagine coming out of college. Imagine a young man, right? You're since you were 9 years old, 7, 8, 9 years old, you've been loving football, dreaming about being a NFL player. Now granted he's a punter, but he probably grew up watching football, loved football, didn't know what position he wanted to do, figured it out later on. Right? I mean, the punter's not the most a kid is not going to be like, yeah, I want to be the punter. Maybe kids want to be punters. I mean, kicking's kind of cool, Anyway, you dream about this dream. You dream about the riches that come. You dream about the glory, the accolades, and then you go off to college and you're the shit. Girls are lining up to get on their knees for you. Literally, probably. And everything's good, and then something like this happens and your dream is taken away from you. All the future money's taken away from you, and it's almost like it's retroactively happening because it's a year later. He got drafted, he's in the NFL, rookie year, right? And boom, oh, this girl that I was at a party with caught up, man. I mean, this is every guy's nightmare. This is every guy who actually gets laid's nightmare. In the back of our mind, as a man in today's day and age, if you're hooking up, you're thinking, hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This could go wrong. This could go left. And it happened for this guy. So that sucks. Let's read on. We do not wish this experience on anyone, but question why our son is the only one receiving this kind of treatment by social media and national news media. The vitriol has been on him alone. I don't know what that's about. That sounds not right. Is it because he's a professional player? Probably. It's like they want to take somebody down because they hate men in power. They hate men with money. They want to ruin this. This is why the Me Too movement is attached to radical feminism, modern feminism, because it's about taking down men in power, men in a position, men with lots of money and influence, etc., right? So that's interesting, right? Maybe he's the only one who made it to the NFL. He's the only one who got drafted. He has been extorted, discriminated against, harassed, and the subject of multiple and continuous threats of violence and death. And that's what happens because, there's so many crazies out there that just, they get this kind of misplaced sense of chivalry. These white knight lefties, male feminist, male feminist allies. And this is why false accusations are so dangerous, because you could get the guy killed. Maybe he did it, but even then, he doesn't deserve to die. I mean, it's like, at least, at least the punishment should fit the crime. She's not dead, right? Why should he die? I mean, it's bonkers. So people are threatening his life. These crazies on the internet, who run with a story as if it's fact without ever seeing any evidence, and it's so dangerous, to be in this type of position. And imagine how this guy feels. Got drafted, everything's going great. Oops, this woman comes out of the woodwork, right? Just slivers her way out of the woodwork, and boom, it's all gone. All your glory's gone. All your money's gone. Your future's gone. Based on an accusation. And if you look at it, I'm not necessarily mad at the NFL or the corporation that hired him. They have a right to fire him. It's about their public image. I'm not necessarily mad at that, but at the same time, it's like, what if he's innocent? Then his whole life, does he have to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt? Can he come back? Can he come back on the team? Imagine, just imagine what this guy's going through. He thought everything was all gravy for the rest of his life. And then, bam. Anyway. So she, whoever says this, if it's his mom or his dad, who's ever speaking here, it's his parents. But they say he has been extorted. That's a weird one. He has been extorted, discriminated against, harassed, and the subject of multiple and continuous threats of violence and death. He has been released from his job, and our entire family continues to receive horrific threats of violence and death. Well, that's crazy. We have all been canceled, every member of our family. Well, people are going after his family members? That sounds insane. His family didn't do anything, certainly. Oh, here's the full statement. Hold on a second. I guess there's a longer stuff. Let's see if that's all that's been said. Here's the full statement. It says, the rule of law is innocent until proven guilty. That is not our experience. There has been war waged on our son. He has been tried and convicted in the media based on information released solely from the alleged victim and her attorney, much of it through social media. Wow. So instead of just being, direct about it and going to the cops, getting him in court, getting the truth out, they went to social media. To me, that sounds like a red flag. Why would you post it on social media? That almost sounds like a revenge campaign. Now, I don't know if it's true that he didn't do anything, if it's true that he's innocent. I don't know that. Anyway, he has been tried and convicted in the media based on information released solely from the alleged victim and her attorney, much of it through social media. Yeah, I wonder. Well, anyway, people have taken his information as this information is factual when it is not. We do not wish this experience on anyone, but question why our son is the only one receiving this kind of treatment. Okay, so I read all that. Salacious rumors grew as fact. There are multiple witness reports to deny the claims that are made against him. The legal system is designed to find the facts and make decisions. They should be allowed to do that. Wow, there are multiple witness reports to deny the claims that are made. That's very, very valid. If there are people who are backing up his innocence, who are witnesses there that night, that's very, very important for him to beat the case. The lawsuit filed in San Diego Superior Court accused Areza of having sex with the minor outside a home and later brought her to a party where she was repeatedly raped. Oh wow, that sounds just like what happened with Tupac. The victim says she was in and out of consciousness but can recall moments where the three men repeatedly assaulted her. So she hooked up with Areza. Oh, so she was 17 and he must have been, so he might get screwed on that alone. Actually 17, oh wait, San Diego. Is California, yeah, California is the age of consent in California, I believe it's 16. So that doesn't, I don't know why they phrased it like that. That doesn't make sense. Sex with a minor. Well, yeah, they're not an adult, but age of consent. Yeah, even so, it's weird. So they're even in this phraseology. Oh, the lawsuit. Okay, so it's in the lawsuit. The lawsuit filed in San Diego Superior Court accused Areza of having sex with a minor. So probably they used that word minor in the lawsuit, even though age of consent in California is 16. They're just trying to, in the lawsuit, they're trying to act like they're trying to make it, use words to make it sound worse than it really is. Not to say that hooking up with a 17-year-old girl when you're in college is okay, necessarily. I mean, I guess that's a whole nother debate, but depends on who you ask. Because I know growing up, when I was in high school, I knew a lot of girls who were 17 who had boyfriends who were in college. I think at least 3, for sure 2. I think 3. Yeah, one of them's name was April. I remember her. She dated a guy who had a Ford Mustang, and she was always talking about how cool his car was. And he was a freshman in college, so he was like 18 or 19, and she was like 17. Which, you know, these, you know, the same people who were like calling this family and attacking him and attacking his family are the guys who are like, go crazy if you think that it's okay for a high school girl to date a college guy, when in reality college guys are 18, 19, high school girls are 17, 18. It's barely a year apart. Anyway, and that's why girls like college guys, because they've graduated, they're in college, they've got a bevy of college women to pick from, and yet they're messing around with this high school girl. It's exciting to the high school girl. I know because I witnessed it. They love it. So anybody saying that, you know, oh, the college guy's manipulating the high school girl, I heard guys say that, and it's just like, dude, I don't know what you're smoking, I don't know what you're on, but that's not I don't think it's manipulation. I think really it's her nature that says, oh, I want this hot guy. But anyway, or, you know, I want this older guy who's cool and he's a bad boy and he's in college. Like, you know, that's totally makes sense. It's not a manipulation. Anyway, so that doesn't sound crazy to me, but the way they put it here with the, you know, they try to make it sound worse for some reason. I don't know if Fox News is biased or what that's about, but actually they're probably just quoting the lawsuit. That's the word that was used in the lawsuit. So anyway, let's keep reading. The victim says she was in and out of consciousness but can recall moments where the 3 men repeatedly assaulted her. That sounds sketchy. You know, a little bit. How can you be in and out of consciousness? I don't know. Like I've blacked out drunk off of hard liquor before, and I don't remember nothing. So, but maybe people's experiences differ. Maybe somebody comes to consciousness halfway through. I don't know. It just sounds kind of sketchy. The statements of Araiza's parents is in line with what he said on Friday when the lawsuit reached the public eye. Lawyer for alleged victim in gang rape lawsuit against ex-Bills puncher rips teams following player's release. The facts of the incident are not what they are portrayed in the lawsuit and the press. I look forward to quickly setting the record straight. Salacious rumors grew as fact. There are multiple witness reports to deny the claims that are made against him. The legal system is designed to find the facts and make decisions. They should be allowed to do that. So it sounds like he's innocent to me. And that was what my gut feeling said at first in this case. But the fact is that he lost his job. And his job is one of the most high-profile jobs in existence. A professional sports player. It's millions of dollars on the line. I mean, that's huge. So we tried to be thorough and thoughtful and not rush to judgment, and I would say it's not easy, said Bills GM Brandon Beane via the Washington Post. You're trying to put facts around a legal situation, sometimes with limited information. Yeah, totally. The victim's attorney, Dan Gillian, ripped the team following the puncher's release, saying the Buffalo Bills had no choice but to cut their younger puncher after so badly botching their response to our claim. They ignored us as though what I warned them would happen could be avoided if they just kept their heads in the sand. Huh. Interesting. When people are going to bat for somebody like that, it's generally because the guy's a good guy and probably because he's innocent. You know, I mean, I get it that that's his parents and his lawyer and they're paying the lawyer, but I don't know, man. This just reeks of setup. Despite claims that they knew about the situation prior to taking Araiza in the 2022 NFL Draft, Beane said the team was not aware of the allegations when they selected him in the 6th round. Obviously, it's not easy to hear about some of the things that I've heard about over the last several hours. Haven't slept a lot, to be honest with you, Bills head coach Sean McDermott said. Araiza's attorney, Kerry L. Armstrong, said he hoped his client is back in the NFL soon. He added, I am sure he is very upset and disappointed that his career with the Bills ended, not because he played poorly, but because of false accusations leveled against him by a young lady and her attorney. So I'm a little confused because this guy looks like a dang Chad. This guy looks like he could play Captain America in the next DC movie or something. I don't think this guy's raping anybody. So I'm a little confused because it said that he had sexual relations and then he had sexual relations with this girl and then he brought her to a party. And that's where she was raped. So how is he a rapist? How is that his fault? That doesn't make sense to me. Maybe we'll find out. Gillian said that his client was not after money, criticizing Armstrong, who suggested that was the case. Well, if she's not after money, then she's after revenge. Because there's what other motivation is there? Unless it's just the truth. In which case, okay. A police investigation regarding the lawsuit is ongoing. The results of the investigation are in the hands of the district attorney. There's no current timeline as to when a decision will be made on whether or not charges will be filed. Oh, charges haven't even been filed. Wow. So they just booted him. They just kicked him based on an accusation. Charges hasn't even been filed yet. What that means is that they might not even have enough evidence to bring a case against him. Right? So this guy lost his entire, currently so far, hopefully he comes back, that'd be a cool story, but this guy lost his entire professional career before it even got started. Could have made millions, could have had a great life. And instead of that, he gets fired and his family's getting death threats. Wow. All based on no evidence. And in fact, there's counter evidence. There's witnesses saying he's innocent or whatever they're accusing him of isn't true. So there you go, man. This is how people get screwed. This is how men get thrown under the bus in the court of public opinion. The Me Too movement. This guy doesn't need to rape anyone. Maybe she was raped after he dropped her off at the party, but that's not his fault. If age of consent is 16, unless like the fact that alcohol was involved, maybe, or the fact that maybe she was blackout drunk is what they're trying to say, but they didn't just outright say that. I don't think. Did I skip over that part? The lawsuit filed in San Diego Superior Court accused Areza of having sex with a minor outside a home and later brought her to a party where she was repeatedly raped. The victim says she was in and out of consciousness but can recall moments where the three men repeatedly assaulted her. This is a poor article. I don't like this article. It needs to be more detailed. It sounds like maybe they're saying it's rape because she was blackout drunk or something. I don't understand. Like, I get the fact that the three guys, she claims that the three guys gang raped her, but it sounds like the sex between her and Matt Areza was consensual. So this is confusing to me. Wow. So yeah, it's just, when you're a guy who grew up liking sports, you understand how glorious it is to become a professional player. And never happened for me, and never happened for millions of other young men. So we don't know exactly how that feels, but we can imagine, and we have imagined, because guys who are really into sports, guarantee you, they imagine that they went pro. So this guy did it, and it got taken away from him based on just an accusation. So yeah, I would actually agree with his lawyer that there was no evidence presented. No charges filed, just a social media campaign to tear him down, and he gets fired. That's bananas, man. That's crazy to me. Wow. This is that world that they've created. This is that Me Too radical feminist world that they've created. This is kind of like a flex of how much power they have and sway and influence they have over society. That's a gynocentric social order, a gynocentric court system. Not even a court system, because it didn't go to court. A gynocentric social order is really all it is. A woman says, "Oh, he raped me." Doesn't have to be any facts about it, just based on her word. And now you got, dozens of people sending his family death threats. That's insane, man. We are living in a dark time, man. And even from the way it was told, it sounds like he's innocent either way. He didn't gang rape her. The three other guys did, according to that scenario, that explanation of the situation. So just a weird, shady, sad scenario that doesn't sound right. It doesn't even add up from the opposite end when you flip it and you inverse the scenario. When you look at it from their point of view, It doesn't even make sense. He dropped her off. They had sex in front of a house. Sounds consensual. So how the hell is it his fault if he dropped her off at a party and 3 other guys get like? That's just weird. And I can feel for his parents, because if you've ever been in a situation where you're powerless and somebody makes an accusation against you, or somebody takes away your validity in the eyes of other people, you're powerless. You're like, hey, I didn't do this thing I'm being accused of. I'm innocent. You know? And yet you can't defend it because this mob of people has been convinced that you are guilty and they're out to get you. That's a scary feeling, man. I bet a lot of people in history have been strung up, killed, shot, whatever. Even in prison. False imprisonment is a real thing, you know. But I bet a lot of people in history have been lynched on the fervor of a false accusation. Mob mentality is scary, man. You know, and a lot of these people online, they're really deviant, man. Anyway, feel sorry for this guy. Hope it works out. Just another example of modern feminism gone awry. The negative effects of radical feminism, the Me Too movement, all that's tied in together. They're all part of the same army, you know, or the same group of people, really. This leftist, Marxist, feminist mob, and they just want to take people down. There's no rationale to it. There's no finding the truth. That's what a court is supposed to do, find the truth. So you can't jump to a conclusion if there's no evidence presented just based on her word, and yet you're sending his family death threats. That's just insane. What a freaking broken world we live in, man. Anyway, I feel sorry for this guy, man. Like I said, you put yourself in his shoes and it's just absolutely horrible. You know, we need to stop this. We need due process of law. That's what we need. There's no due process in the court of public opinion. It's just whatever you believe, and then you get a group of people who believe what you believe. No matter how wrong the whole group is, they all believe the same thing, so there's some power there. There's some might behind that. Anyway, that's a scary thing, man. This poor guy. I mean, it doesn't even, from the way this article's framed, it doesn't even sound like he really did anything wrong. They had consensual sex. The age of consent in California is 16. The only thing I can think of is she was too drunk to consent. Maybe. But they didn't say that. So it's just, they didn't even say she was drunk. It just said she blacked out. It's like, this is a bad article, or let me see if I can find a different article real quick before I end this. Okay, so that was Fox News. This is NBC. Matt Araza's family issue statement. We have all been canceled. In the 4 days since news broke of a civil lawsuit alleging gang rape by former Bills puncher Matt Araza and the two others, and two others, plenty has happened. Wait, Matt and two others? So was he there when she got allegedly gang raped? I don't know. Okay, most recently his parents issued a lengthy statement to KUSI in San Diego. PFT has confirmed that the message attributed to Mr. and Mrs. Araza, parents of Matt Araza, is legitimate. I don't know what PFT is. Here's the full statement. The rule of law is innocent until proven guilty. That is not our experience. Okay, yeah, I read all that. Okay. Alright, well that's that. That's all NBC did. Oh, here we go. Woman who accused Matt Araiza of rape speaks out. Matt Araiza was drafted by the Buffalo Bill. I'm not gonna. The 18-year-old woman who was accused. The 18-year-old woman who accused him alleges that Araiza and two other San Diego State University players assaulted her for more than an hour at a party in October. Oh, that other article sucked. It said there's 3 men aside from him. This is, Jesus, bad journalism. The San Diego State University players assaulted her for more than an hour at a party in October. CBS News does not name alleged victims of rape. Okay. She said her phone was taken from her, her piercings were ripped out, and she was left bleeding after the alleged assault. That sounds kind of suspect. They ripped your piercings out? I don't know, man. I was crying, and my friend asked me what happened. The woman who was 17 when the incident allegedly happened told CBS News, and I told her I had just been raped. She wrote in her journal the next day, all I keep replaying in my mind is being face down in a random bed, just waiting for it to be over. I was having to deal with this horrible traumatic experience that I never asked for. Araiza's attorney, Kerry Armstrong, says his client will be vindicated. I would be very surprised if they ever charged Matt Araiza with anything in this case. Armstrong told CBS News, if she really was raped in that back bedroom, that's horrible. It's a horrible thing. Wait a minute. Oh, Araiza's attorney says his client will be vindicated. There we go. If she really was raped in that back room, that's horrible. It's a horrible thing to happen to anybody, but all I know is that Mr. Araiza had nothing to do with it, and the only thing I can think of as to why she's included him in this civil lawsuit is because of money. Or revenge. They were dating and he cheated on her. They had a bad fight and she got angry at him. Women are vitriolic, man. Women are vitriolic. And they do not play fair in their vitriol. Trust that. When asked about the accusation that her intention was to shake Araiza down for money, the accuser said she felt sick to the stomach. Yeah, right. I reported it the day after it happened. I was 17 years old and I had no idea who Matt Araiza was. So where's the rape kit then, if you reported it the day after it happened? Where's the rape kit? There should be a rape kit. And maybe the reason why charges were not filed is because there's no rape kit. If you reported it the next day, they should have done a physical on you to locate any damage done to you, and there should be signs of forced entry. Araiza joined the NFL in April as a 6th-round draft pick. Boy, that's late. The team admits learning about the allegation in July. He was dropped by the team after the lawsuit went public. I mean, yeah, he's a punter. He's not a star player. He's expendable. I mean, punters probably are the most expendable players on an NFL team. Probably the most replaceable players. The team admits learning about the allegation in July. He was dropped by the team after the lawsuit went public. It's not a situation that I or we take lightly whatsoever, blah, blah, blah. It's just a matter of trying to find the truth at the end of the day. That's the goal, is to find the truth and do the right thing. Well, then why would you fire him without solid evidence? Just based on someone's accusation. Araiza's accuser wonders why his career even got that far. Well, that's a red flag. She's really worried about his career. I mean, I guess actually I'll go along with that. You know, I'll acquiesce to that, because if you're really bitter and you really got hurt by someone, and that person goes on to do something well, you know, or live this happy, fulfilled, successful life, you're not going to feel too good, because you're like, that's the person who hurt me, who ruined my life, who ruined my heart, my emotions, whatever, and yet they're doing totally good. So I guess that makes sense to where she's like, you know, wondering why his career even got that far. But I don't know. It's like, maybe he didn't get that far because you hadn't taken to social media yet. I don't know. There's a lot of questions here. I can't put into words how upsetting it was, she said, when I've been facing consequences for his actions. What type of consequences? What are you talking about? That's very vague. The San Diego District Attorney now has the case. No criminal charges have been filed. So it sounds to me like there's a lack of proof. That's what it sounds like to me. If there's proof, the prosecuting attorney is going to file charges. The court is going to summons you to come in and defend yourself if there's actual solid evidence. If there's not actual solid evidence, the court probably is not going to go ahead, or they're stalling because maybe they're waiting for more evidence, or I don't know. It doesn't talk about that, but if she really had evidence, the court would have filed those charges, I'm sure. The San Diego District Attorney now has the case. No criminal charges have been filed. I'm not going to continue reading articles, but that's a shitty scenario, man. And everything she said in her statement is just like random and vague. It doesn't, you know, it's just like she's not coming with proof. She's just like, oh, my life was ruined. Like, okay, yeah, you can tell a story. Like, if it's true, then yeah, he deserves what he gets. But if it's false, you ruined a guy's life, literally, and it would have been a great life with all that accolades and money and whatever. So I don't know, man. I don't know about this one. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. I hate to see stories like this because it's hard to tell what really happened. And also, it's hard to see a guy get thrown under the bus by what could be a vitriolic person. So, and, you know, I do think that they can get away with a lot, you know, that the power of simping when it comes to women, the power of simping, right? These simps will do anything, you know, for a little bit of you know, attention, or a little bite of, you know, her validation. Yeah, this is why male feminists are out there defending women and attacking red pill guys who speak the truth, like myself. I've been through it, you know. I used to go on, I'm trying to cut back and trying to focus on other things in life, but I used to go online and, you know, for the past 10 years was online a lot, social media, you know, arguing back and forth with liberals and feminists, and male feminists will come out of the woodwork just because, and it's weird, man. These guys are just weird. Anyway, I don't want to go off on a different type of tangent, but it sounds like they're at his family's door with the axes, and that's just based on a woman's word. Based on a woman's word. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. Hopefully the guy's innocent. Hopefully he gets back on the team. I'd be interested to see how this plays out. If it's true, if what she's saying is true, then hey, you know, hopefully justice is done, but there needs to be evidence. There has to be evidence, and it can't just be he said, she said crap in a court of law. Although I've heard that someone's testimony can hold up in court, which is scary as hell, but hopefully there's some evidence to prove him innocent. Sounds like he's got some witnesses saying that she's lying. So anyway, man, yeah, that it saddens me to hear something like this, particularly to a guy who had the rest of his life ahead of him, but it is what it is. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it there. Appreciate you listening. Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.